Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all my colleagues at the Refugee Studies Centre, a very warm welcome to HIP2015. Since its creation over 30 years ago, the Refugee Studies Centre has been at the forefront of innovative thinking on refugees and forced migration. One of the defining features of its work, present in its research, teaching, and outreach, has been the emphasis on the capacities rather than just the vulnerabilities of refugees and displaced populations. Today, in a world in which more people are displaced than at any time since the Second World War, and we have major humanitarian crises around the world, from Syria to the Central African Republic, creative thinking and indeed research is needed more than ever. In that context, the Refugee Studies Centre is building an exciting new programme of research that's based both on academic excellence, but also, crucially, the desire to have impact on a changing world. One of our flagship research projects is the Humanitarian Innovation Project, beginning in 2012 with an initial focus on exploring the role of innovation, technology, and the private sector in refugee assistance. It's since expanded the scope of its work to humanitarianism more broadly. It now has 4 strands of work on refugee economies, bottom-up innovation, military humanitarian knowledge exchange, and governance innovation. And it will soon launch a new website and brand, which you can see a preview of above. The guiding ethos of the project, though, has been a focus on what we call bottom-up innovation, exploring ways in which we can build upon the skills, talents, and aspirations of refugees and other crisis-affected communities, not just responding to what we think their needs are, but recognizing that they can be part of the solution to their own daily challenges. This approach is perhaps best illustrated in the work we've done in Uganda, where we've engaged in participatory research with a team of refugee researchers to build unprecedented data on the economic lives of refugees, research we're extending to other countries, hopefully soon to Kenya. We've already produced a number of publications that we're trying to use to have impact on the emerging humanitarian innovation debate. Publications such as Humanitarian Innovation, the State of the Art, on refugee economies, and the publication we'll launch later today, Refugee Innovation, Humanitarian Innovation that starts with communities. But we cannot change the world alone. We are just a research institution and a university. We have an important part to play, but so do many other people, particularly in this room. We're just one piece of a larger tapestry. A growing number of people, many of you here today, are doing pioneering work on humanitarian innovation. And we have to work together. We have to ensure that rather than working in silos, or in our own sectors, or our own organizational boxes, we look outwards from our traditional ways of addressing problems and work collaboratively and collectively in partnership. And that's where the Humanitarian Innovation Conference comes in. HIP2015 is the second Humanitarian Innovation Conference. The theme for this year's conference, Facilitating Innovation, reflects the underlying ethos of our own work. It seeks to explore the ways in which we can collectively encourage and facilitate innovation, including by crisis-affected communities themselves. The conference will reflect on a range of thematic areas, with plenary panels on topics as diverse as the role of business, education and innovation, transforming organizational culture, learning from failure, and the role of technology. We're particularly delighted that this conference is an official event of the World Humanitarian Summit that will take place in May 2016 in Istanbul. The summit has been very creative and pioneering in recognizing transformation through innovation as one of its core thematic areas. And this conference offers an opportunity for us to collectively shape the World Humanitarian Summit agenda. We had incredibly positive feedback on last year's conference, but reflecting the theme of the conference, we're also seeking to innovate for this year's conference. As well as simply discussing innovation, we'd like to show innovation and showcase some of the work you are all doing. There'll be a series of interactive workshops alongside every session. There'll be an exhibition space. We're embracing the arts through photography and performance with the presence of the very talented all-stars who will be showcasing their work this evening. There will also be a lot to choose from in terms of panels, but you don't have to miss anything. will be video recording or podcasting recording sessions with our partner Dragonfly. If for whatever reason you don't wish to be in recordings or photographs, please just let one of our volunteers know. None of the RSC's work, nor this conference, would be possible without partnerships. As we go forwards, we're seeking to build new partnerships as well as build upon our existing partnerships. And reflecting this, I want to begin with a few simple acknowledgements. First of all, thank you to the World Humanitarian Summit for co-convening this event. Second, thank you to Stephanie and Hunter Hunt for helping to create the Humanitarian Innovation Project in the first place, without which this conference simply wouldn't take place. Third, we have a small army of volunteers led by the brilliant Nina Weaver, who are coordinating this conference. And you'll have met them in their striking and stylish blue t-shirts. Fourthly, thank you to all of you for coming. This conference is almost entirely funded by the fees of participants. And without you, there would literally be no conference. And finally, and last but not least, I need to thank my own partner, Emily. We're expecting our first child in a week, so my ability to be here depends upon her giving me permission to be here. And if I leave prematurely, you'll know why. So you're aware, this is the Sloan Robinson building. Nearly everything will be taking place in this building. The plenary sessions, the 6 seminar rooms, and the innovation lab space are all here. The one exception to that, in a way, is the ARCO building, the adjacent building, where coffee breaks will be held, and where the ARCO workshop room is located. Dinner and lunch will be in the main dining hall, and I'm sure you'll be able to find your way. It is worth noting that there's another conference taking place, and you'll see signs for the SPA conference. Before you get ideas about being distracted by SPAs, I understand it stands for Stochastic Process Applications, so don't be too tempted.